All right, y'all are totally gonna get sick of this red background, but I'm gonna be super busy in the upcoming weeks, so I'm trying to get as much done as I can. So you'll have seen a mid-month update by the time you see this, and probably a book review or two, and there will be more book reviews to come because I'm at the library, so I'm doing the book reviews real quick before I turn them in so I can quit checking them out. But today, and by today I mean right now, I am very excited to tell you I am taking another Financial Peace University class. I have several videos from the last time I took an FPU class, and it was not complimentary. Not to Dave's plan, that I love, I'm totally on board, but to the organizers of the class and how they handle things. You can go back and look at those other videos. I was a little bit of a biatch. But now that I've seen what this class can be, I'm actually a little bit more firm in my opinions of the last one, because the coordinators were not interested in talking to us or having us talk to each other. There were these horrible, it was like sitting on a bicycle seat the entire time. Horrible chairs, and they talked about using credit cards and like points and taking on new debt and all this stuff. And the whole class was kind of like, isn't that just what he said not to do? So the class was not close. The coordinators were not good, and I hated it. And I actually didn't end up going to the last two classes because they said they weren't going to have a class before or after Thanksgiving, like the Sunday before or the Sunday after Thanksgiving, which was great because I went home. So, but it turns out they changed their minds, and I didn't get the notice, so I missed both of their classes, and they said they weren't going to have the class before Thanksgiving. Like, they changed class dates and times all the time, and they wouldn't let everyone know, and so it was just bad. So I missed the last two classes. I did not graduate FPU, and honestly, if that had been my first introduction to Dave Ramsey, I'd never gotten on this plane. Fortunately, I had read Total Money Makeover, and I'd been on the plane for about a year when I took the class the first time. So, however, when I took the class on Sunday, the first class, even though I'd seen the video before, even though I knew what was coming, it was such a better atmosphere. The coordinator has actually never taken the class before, but he was very jovial. He wanted to talk to us about money, and he was very open. My pastor and his wife were taking the class. There were several other young people there, and couples, and there was a good mix. I don't think there was anyone over 50 there, but there were older people too that wanted to get their money in line, and it was a good group. We ended up talking, actually talking with the questions after, which was great, and kind of getting to know each other. So it was 1,000 times better experience. And yes, I had a comfortable chair. Everyone had comfortable chairs. So I made notes in my book, watching it again, and I thought I would be bored. I really did, but I wasn't. Y'all are familiar with this page. Last year when I took the course, it says, what do you expect to be your greatest challenge as you get started with FPU? And it says kind of tell your story. And what I wrote at the time was I want to be reinvigorated and energized to figure out new ways to pay off debt. I want to find a community to support me in this and be able to bounce stuff off of other people rather than just Jamie and Beth. And I want to get closer to God. And that's exactly what I want to get out of the course this time too. So I just re-signed it. In the previous class, I made notes. There were about 24 people. Sorry, my ankle itched. Everyone was much older. There was like a 75-year-old couple that just wanted to talk about their lives, not money related at all, or anything that would help anyone else. And they were real sweet, and no one else who actually wanted to talk, so they just had the floor to talk about how they invested in something that doesn't exist anymore. And it wasn't the case this time. This time there were 13 people, none were over 50. There was one girl that was like 15 looking. So that's really cool that there was a younger person there. And I made brand new notes. I was a different color pen, so I remember what it is. the leaders had just signed up for DirecTV and were saying they were making room in their budget for like $200 a month. The last thing. Yeah, that's what Dave says to do. So Dave was talking about something in the first video that I've been thinking about lately too. Talking about the little pig and how little pigs and how when you're prepared for things with an emergency fund, you're like the little pig in the brick house. You're prepared. You don't have to worry about the wolf blowing it down, and you can think about other things, basically. And he was talking about how in the little story where he and Sharon had this emergency fund and their van broke down and they went and just got it fixed. And they didn't worry about it. Whereas before there would have been all this drama with, money problems and car problems, and because they had the emergency fund, they just fixed it. And I've been thinking about that a lot lately, because when your mind is focused on money and worried about that, there's not a lot of room to be concerned or working about other things, because that's always in the back of your mind is, when am I going to pay? How am I going to pay this? When am I going to pay this? How much is in my account? Is that going to bounce? Do I have enough money for groceries each week? And I have been there. And you can't think about other things. That's what you're focused on. So now it's a huge change where I can focus on so many other things. I have to get my car fixed tomorrow. It's going to be about $150. I don't care. I mean, that's money. I don't really want to give it, but I want my car to be fixed. So it's this snap, all right, well, let's fix it thing. Whereas before it's, do I have enough money in my account? When do I get paid? How much longer can I let this go on? And my face is like this all the time. Whereas now I'm like, too different. And I can't do the truth thing. I've never been able to. So I wrote down some of the things that I've been able to think about since I'm not worried about money. Because my budget's set. It's worked for a really long time now, almost 2 years. And, it's the debt's coming down and I'm doing more stuff each month, but I can focus on things like this vlog and treating myself better and doing things better for the environment. Like you've seen a couple of videos that I've done about going a little bit more zero waste and using less plastic. And that's not the kind of thing people that are worried about money all the time can think about. There's no room in your head. So you can also do preventative things that will save you money later. You can't do that in paycheck to paycheck panic mode. So if you guys are out there and you're just getting started and everything seems overwhelming, let me tell you, a year or two from now, it's gonna be such smooth sailing. Like everything will be set. It'll be done. My sinking funds are set when Rory needs her shots every year. I just take the money out of the fund. Like there's nothing that creates drama in my life. I mean, there's still some worry because I don't have health insurance that I would get into an accident or get really sick, but that's normal things don't create drama in my life anymore. It's amazing. I promise you, I can't get over it. My brain can think about other things. So, and I also circled this quote, which I didn't notice before, I guess, but it's from Hebrews 12:11. No discipline seems pleasant at the time, but painful. Later on, however, it produces a harvest of righteousness and peace for those who have been trained by it. And while that's kind of what I'm doing now, it's more of what I was doing about a year ago when I was trying to make my budget work. Now that it works, I'm still tweaking. I'm still, trying to cut things down to put more towards the debt. But now that the snowball's rolling, it's not stopping. Getting it moving first is what's hard. And I have to tell you, yes, it's hard, but it's so worth it because my brain can think of other things. I'm not worried about my car breaking down. I'm not worried about anything, really, because I know that within 2 years I'm going to be out of debt. And only good things are going to happen from here. And knock on wood, I guess. But, even if I were to get into a catastrophic accident or get really sick or something like that and I had to add more debt back on, I would never intentionally do this, of course, but if I were to get really sick and had to go to the hospital or needed an operation or something like that, I also know that I could pay off that debt because I've paid off so much so far. I've paid off $10,000 in the past 2 years. And in addition to that, I'll be paying another $5,000 off by the end of this year. It's gonna happen. So I'm so excited about this, and it's just such a good thing. So yeah, random notes. But Dave also talks about like who knew cars can break? Everybody. and this is kind of going in with my car thing. I don't really consider my car breaking down an emergency anymore. That's what, I mean, you can use that as a reason to get into your emergency fund, but I now have a car fund, which is kind of like a sinking fund. I put $50 in there every month because eventually I'm going to need to get my oil changed. Eventually I'm going to need to get new tires. Eventually something's going to go wrong. It's going to rain. So if you're to the point where your budget's kind of set, consider adding a car fund as a sinking fund type thing. My mom said always be saving for your next car. I've never bought a car from a dealership and had payments. I've always paid cash for cars. And I've been very lucky to be able to do that. And even though my car is a POS right now, it is paid for. I paid $2,500 for that thing, and it's still running. The air conditioner isn't, and it needs a new valve gauge cover thing tomorrow, but it's fine. It'll get me where I need to go. So I don't really see car things as an emergency anymore. I take that money out of my car fund instead of my emergency fund. So tomorrow it'll be $150 out. No big deal. All right. So that's kind of a new update on week 1 of Financial Peace University, Take 2. And I'm really excited about taking this course again. I think it's going to be really, really good, and it might have that community that I was so searching for, which is kind of why I came on YouTube. So maybe we should be thankful that I wasn't able to find an FPU course when I started this journey. There just wasn't one around, and about a year ago, I took a really bad one because I found the community here with you guys, and I love you guys, and you're so supportive, and I love watching the other financial YouTubers too. And it's really, really cool having friends like you guys out there. You know, it's just, I can't get over it. I can't believe I've been on YouTube for a year and a half, and I wouldn't change it for anything. So I will be taking FPU 2 next Sunday, and I will see you guys soon. Bye.